Hello, good people. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. I have a confession to make. I just couldn't resist. I must say something about Christmas. Here are my wishes to all of you. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Próspero año y felicidad. Feliz Navidad, feliz Navidad, feliz Navidad, próspero año y felicidad. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. Feliz Navidad, feliz Navidad, feliz Navidad, próspero año y felicidad. Feliz Navidad, feliz Navidad, feliz Navidad, próspero año y felicidad. Okay, this is just the introduction. And now I would like to share with you some ideas, some reflections about Christmas. This time is not just about Christmas, however, it's about Christmas and what we also call the Winter Solstice. We all know, I'm sure, that Christians is celebrated on December the 25th. We also know that for Christians, it is a religious celebration. And for non-Christians, it's a special moment to promote peace and family and friendship ties. People even recognize that for businesses and entrepreneurs, Christmas is a special holiday with a commercial dimension. For years and years, people around the world have celebrated Christmas with different practices and traditions. Popular practices include exchanging gifts, decorating houses and Christmas trees, attending church, organizing posadas, breaking piñatas, preparing nativity mysteries, and sharing meals with family and friends. In the past, however, this time of the year was connected to the winter solstice and to the middle of winter celebrations of early Europeans. They celebrated light in the darkest days of winter and hoped for longer days and sunlight. In Scandinavia, for example, the winter solstice was celebrated from December the 21st all the way until the end of January. And the central point of the celebration was the return of the sun. They symbolize this by setting long logs on fire for a few days, 12, 13, 14 or so. In several areas of Europe, cattle were slaughtered during this period so they would not have to be fed. And as a result, it was a time when people had a supply of meat and drank wine and beer. In Rome, the Saturnalia festival began in the week leading up to the winter solstice and continued for a full month. In addition, members of the upper classes celebrated the birth date of Mitra, the god of the unconquerable sun. And that was on December the 25th. But then you may ask, what about Christmas and Jesus? Well, in the early days of Christianity, the birth of Jesus was not celebrated. It was only in the 4th century that church officials decided to establish the birth of Jesus as a holiday. It has been claimed, although with plenty of controversy and contestation, that it was Pope Julius I who chose December the 5th as the date for the birth of Jesus. The church would have chosen this date to adopt and absorb the traditions of the Saturnalia festival. Then the celebration of the Nativity of Jesus spread to Egypt in the 5th century, and later on to England around the end of the 6th century. By holding Christmas at the same time as traditional winter solstice celebrations, church leaders increased the chance that Christmas would be embraced by the entire population. And in fact, by the Middle Ages, Christianity had, for the most part, replaced non-Christian religions. Later on, in the 13th century, St. Francis of Assisi created the first nativity scene, something like what you can see here behind me or next to me. He wanted to represent Jesus's birth in Bethlehem, and in that way help people to imagine how the first Christmas took place. Francis, at that moment, urged people to reject hatred and instead embrace love. This way, the night of Christmas was made glorious and memorable that year, the year of 1223. The first nativity scene proved to be so inspiring that people in other areas soon set up living activities to celebrate Christmas. They even added more figures such as angels, shepherds, sheep, and the three kings. We all know about this. Later on, the tradition took force in the American continent with the work of the missionaries who came to evangelize Mexico and eventually the rest of the countries of the continent. As for North America, it wasn't until the 19th century that North Americans began to embrace Christmas. In fact, they reinvented Christmas and changed it from a carnival holiday into a family-centered day of peace and nostalgia. Celebrating the birth of Jesus appears so necessary to people who believe that the knowledge and technology of today discredit religious traditions, religious myths, and religious stories. They claim there isn't any need to have religious rituals or ceremonies to celebrate the values of peace, solidarity, and friendship highlighted in the Christmas season. However, that's what I think, these people fail to see that today's knowledge and technology are not sufficient to give meaning to life, nor solve the existential problems that we face today. Perhaps the reason is simple. Today's knowledge and technology do not lead us to wisdom, nor compassion, nor peace and tenderness. And yes, wisdom and compassion and peace and tenderness are values that guide people to make good and fair ethical decisions, to create goodness, and to live meaningful lives. True, yes, the story of the birth of Jesus is fantastic in some ways, but it is also a story in which history and myth converge, come together. A story in which wisdom, compassion, tenderness, and humbleness unite to offer inspiration and guidance to those who need them, believers or not. If you review the story of Jesus' birth, if you reflect on it with a compassionate and open heart and mind, you will see connections to hope, light, longing, justice, simplicity, and above all, new beginnings. Today, this is what we remember and celebrate with the help of rituals, ceremonies, readings, reflections, and the singing of this special season, both in churches and at home. So, what is the meaning of Christmas? Well, if you ask people randomly, you will certainly get different answers. Some might say Christmas is about getting presents. Others will claim Christmas is about time with family and loved ones. And still others might indicate that Christmas is about being kind to known and unknown people. All of these responses, of course, are correct. Further, you could even add that Christmas is just a holiday period. In any case, for Christians, Christmas is about the birth of Jesus, the vulnerability of a child, the solidarity of God with humanity, and the beginning of a new life. Christmas is about family and loved ones, because indeed, Jesus' message is that all humans are members of God's family. Christmas is about being kind to friends and strangers alike. In fact, kindness should be something that Christians and sympathizers of Jesus and Christianity should practice all year round. Christmas is a holiday period. Yes, it is. But it is also much more than that. It is a celebration that encourages us to renew commitment to working for love, peace, and compassion in the world. So, hear our invitation. Take this time of the year to reflect on why you are buying gifts, putting up decorations, and organizing special dinners. Yes, during this holiday season, when everyone around you is feeling kinder, more charitable, and cherishing their family times, take some time to reflect on a new beginning of life for you, where peace, love, solidarity, and compassion have a special place. Merry Christmas and a happy New Year to all of you. Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, próspero año y felicidad. Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, próspero año y felicidad. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, próspero año y felicidad. Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Merry Christmas to all of you. All the best. See you soon in one of our next videos on Refill 100. Bye now.